Welcome to the lighter side of the dark side. It's your weekly freak show here on Renegade Radio and also Spotify, iTunes, Stitcher, Audible, wherever you hear your podcast. It's a Dark Mark show. I'm Dark Mark, the goth comedian. And joining me, as always, everybody's favorites horror writer, Nicole Six.
Hello.
Hi, Nicole.
How are you, Mark?
I'm good. I'm really good today because, I love all of our guests. I think all of our guests are really good. There's a couple guests that I haven't asked back, but other than that, I'd say probably 85 to 90% of our guests are above average, wouldn't you say?
Yes, I agree.
But then there's those A-plus guests that are just always amazing. You know who I'm talking about.
Spark with.
Yes, the cream of the crop, and we have one here. We haven't had her on for a while because of the pandemic and things, and it's been too long. And she just came out with a single, and so it's a good time, and things are opening up. And the single is called, and I'm sorry, I had to look at Apple Music. You're Such a Human Being. I had it written down too. And she's an amazing human being, an amazing singer, one of the most talented people I know, one of the coolest people I knew and know, Savannah Pope.
What's up? How you doing?
Hi, Savannah.
Hi. Good to see you.
And by the way, the reason that we haven't had you on has nothing to do with the fact that you blew out the mic last time you were on with your superhuman voice.
Thank you. No, it's I've blown out mics before, and I will blow them out again. So
yeah, and that was by the way, that was the number one moment on the Dark Mark show in 2020. We have a list on YouTube. You can access. Well, that was part of it. There was You Play with Fire. That was part of it too, and it was the whole thing.
That was really fun.
Yeah, and we're gonna have fun tonight.
It did not hurt at all. I was really surprised by that.
Yeah. So hopefully we can get in the studio and play with fire very soon because it's not safe to do it around the green screen. But anyway, before we get started, there's a lot to talk about with Savannah, as always. I'm glad. Savannah, last time I talked to you, last time we were face to face was about last May. I was picking up some merch from you, and it was at your parents' home, and you weren't terribly happy because of the pandemic situation.
Yeah, I got really depressed in the early pandemic. It was just, I felt a little imprisoned.
Yeah.
And my old place, I just had all these, just my old place was falling apart. And so I ended up house sitting for my parents for a while, it's always weird to be in somebody else's space. But yeah,
but now you're back. Things are happening, and hopefully we'll be seeing you live very soon.
Oh yeah, definitely. And I think, coming back has its own sort of reasons for anxiety as well. But it's funny because this whole time I've been like, I just want to get out. I just want to get out. I just want to get out. And now things are opening up, and I'm like, well, there's certain things I'm going to miss.
Right.
So it's definitely been some time for like contemplation and figuring out what's important. And yeah,
you're telling me. And I'll tell you what's important. I got to do it real quick. Our sponsors, we've got Audible. If you go to audibletrial.com/DMS. By the way, I used to do that anyway because our podcast is on Audible now, which is nice. And you can get, if you go to audibletrial.com/DMS, you get any book you want and access to hundreds of free Audible originals and a free month with Audible. So if you go to audibletrial.com/DMS, they have everything from Shakespeare to smut. If you want books on rock and roll, if you want books on popes, if you want books on Savannahs, whatever you want, it's all there on audibletrial.com/DMS. We went to Do Me's Home Cooking a couple weeks ago.
Yes, we did.
Our favorite restaurant. Savannah, have you ever been to Do Me's Home Cooking? You have to have.
Where?
Do Me's Home Cooking.
That's the vegan
restaurant,
right?
on Fountain and Vine, the goth vegan restaurant.
Yeah, I've been there before. It was I got wings, and I was cracking up because they put little pieces of wood in the middle of the wings so that you don't miss the bone.
Right, that's the fried chicken. They got the little bone in there. Yeah.
Yeah.
and they had vegan fried chicken before KFC or any of these restaurants got on the bandwagon. Last time we were there, Nicole had the nachos, which was LA Weekly's one of their 10 best nachos in LA picks. The only one without meat.
Yeah.
And I had the shrimp po' boy, which was delicious. So go to 1253 Vine Street, right in the corner of Fountain of Vine by where the M Bar used to be. And they have a little tent outside. They've got outside dining, and it's delicious. It's great. Phil Doomy is a genius. The ranch dressing, he still won't give anybody the recipe, but let me tell you something, it's terrific. And we got a new sponsor. I love energy drinks. Raze energy drink, the best. I tried them all. I found another Baja line, but I've got another case coming. Do what I do. There's a code in the description on the podcast catchers. Also, YouTube, you get 15% off a case. You can't get these in supermarkets. You can't get these 7-Elevens. You can get them at gyms, GNCs. Don't pay the inflated price. This is Baja Lime. Tastes like Baja Blast from Taco Bell, but it's better because 0 calories, 0 carbs, 0 crash. I'll pop that open. Delicious, because I got to match the energy between the two of you. And Nicole, you did briefly cross paths with Savannah, as I was saying before. Actually, you're the reason that we're still in touch. That I connected with Savannah and we became friends. Is there was a night I was walking you home, I think, from Bar Sinister, or walking you to my car, and then we were going home. We crossed paths with Savannah, who was this is probably 10 years ago. And you pointed at me, you're like, I know you. I know you. He's funny. That guy's funny. And Nicole's like, who's that? I'm like, I don't know. I guess you came to one of my shows, and which you did. And then I kept trying to figure out who you were. And then I think a mutual friend posted one of your shows. I was like, oh, that's the one that, yeah. And then I went to the Space Cream show where you won and got to be on the Warped Tour.
That's awesome.
Yeah. And
we've been friends ever since.
Yeah. It couldn't have been 10 years ago. 10 years ago, I was like a little teenager, but it probably
8 years ago, maybe.
No, like 6, maybe.
Okay, 6 years, maybe 6.
Probably. Yeah.
2020 is such a lost year. I don't even know how to count it.
But I mean, 6 years ago feels like 10 years ago. It's a long time.
Nicole, what were you going to say?
Nothing. I laughed.
Oh, it had to be 2014 at least, because I was out of town for a couple of years. So probably 2014. We'll go with that.
That makes sense.
So 7 years ago.
7, yeah. Okay.
So, and I've grown to see Savannah outgrow her band Space Cream, and see her solo career was really getting there, and then the pandemic hit. But even with the pandemic, you did some shows. You did a virtual festival, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, I did a couple. Yeah.
Which how was that?
It was great. I really loved Detour. Was really cool. That was for Spotify, and it was with everybody from Lizzie Hale to Ringo and Bad Flower, and it was great. It was at the Bourbon Room in Hollywood, which is this really kick-ass new venue. They do Rock of Ages there. So it's huge, and it's they've got a bunch of different rooms, and yeah, so it was great, and it was awesome to get out of the house and just rock out, essentially.
So you guys set up and played live in front of just cameras?
Yeah, essentially just in front of cameras, and it was a little different from how I normally perform with like a 4-piece band. We used some samples and other things that I'm generally not very versed in, but I kind of got into it with a musical director over there for the festival, and we sort of collaborated, and it was really fun. It was a different way of doing it.
Right. Well, funny you should mention that, because I noticed today I was as I've been doing, I immersed myself all things Savannah, and I saw that somebody had remixed or kind of matched up your song Creature.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there have been
did they have your permission or not?
Of things, and that one I really thought was funny. It's like a disco remix, which I always love sharing unexpected remixes of my music, and that one was definitely unexpected. So
But you didn't authorize it. Just people are just remixing your
No,
music
no.
willy-nilly. And
No, people just rip it. And then, but I mean, honestly, like the amount of money that I'm making off of streams is so, infinitesimal that it doesn't really fucking matter. I mean, I appreciate people who actually buy music. Like I actually buy music. I buy movies. I buy all my media because that's what I do. So I have an appreciation for it. But if you're going to use it for something creative, as long as they're not making a shit ton of money off of it and then not kicking it back to me, then, yeah, go for it.
right. I was just curious. And I know, trust me, I'm the one that's been going from free trial to free trial to free trial on streaming for the last 3 years. So I even though I've listened to your album 10 times the last week, you're probably not going to see anything. So, but the album, and by the way, Nicole, the album is Atlantis.
Mm-hmm.
Atlantis.
Yeah, and there's another album coming out this year.
Right. So, what, now that Atlantis, I guess, the old-fashioned album cycle has taken its course.
Mm-hmm.
Is it, pandemic notwithstanding, has the reaction been what you anticipated, or has it exceeded your expectations, or how's it been?
For Atlantis, yeah, I mean, there's been tons of people reacting to it, and I still, in a lot of like my fan outreach to new fans, I send it out to them, and yeah, it's a very varied album. So I think there's a lot to go through in it, and it vacillates between folk rock and hardcore glam rock and a little bit of metal, and yeah. So I mean, it's always sort of my glam weirdo voice running through it, but
right.
Sometimes it's really pared down, and sometimes it's just layered and layered and layered. So there's a lot to work through in it. And I've also, I think Music Match has gotten better in the last year over the pandemic. I think they've improved their algorithms somehow. So the lyrics have just shown up a bunch more places, and I've gotten lots of outreach about the lyrics because that makes a big difference. So I'm very lyrically based, so I'm glad that more people are seeing it.
How about live shows? I hear they're opening up on the 15th. Do you have anything planned this year, do you think?
Every time I've had a few people reach out to me, and they're like, do you want to play this live show? But it's not guaranteed. They're like, here's a live show, but it might get canceled. So I'm just going to kind of, before I announce anything, wait and see how everything comes across. But yeah, in general, something that a resolution that I came to amidst the pandemic was just that I'm not going to play a shit ton of shows just to play a shit ton of shows. I really only want to play shows that I'm excited about. So I'm, waiting for the right shows to come to me. And a few people have come to me so far that it seems great. But again, we don't know what's going to happen.
Right.
Things keep opening and closing, yada, yada.
Have you been vaccinated?
Yeah, I had my first round 3 weeks ago, and then I'm getting my next round a week from today.
Awesome.
Yeah, I got Dolly's. I got Moderna.
I got Pfizer.
Nice. Are you all the way vaxxed?
I get my second vaccination on the 13th.
Sweet. Yeah, I hear the second round is pretty gnarly, but
well,
I'll take it over death.
Yeah.
Well, I had a friend who was very unfortunate that she got the first vaccine and then got COVID.
Oh.
In between the doses.
Yeah, but her COVID was probably way less severe than if she had not gotten the vaccine.
Well, yeah, she recovered quickly, so I don't know, but it's it's so weird. And I'm not an anti-vaxxer in any. It was just a fluke thing, and I was like, wow, that's the worst. You went all this time without getting COVID, and then.
Yeah, but what the great thing about it though is that it's built up your immunity to it. So like if she'd gotten it without that first vaccine, she might have gotten really, really sick. Yeah. So it's probably good that she got it then.
Yeah, it's just so frustrating. Nobody knows anything, but I was actually going on. Let me. I was going on iTunes. I'm trying to think what other artists they would link you with on like Apple Music, and there's nobody. But because I would think just based on this album, and Nicole, I encourage you to listen to it. It goes from really, I would even. I told you last time I would even classify a couple of tunes like "Just My Luck" as maybe classic rock.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
punk.
and I was asking what was her influences because that would tell us what she feels like she's most like.
Right.
I mean, my influences are mostly Bowie, Queen, Joni Mitchell, Sly and the Family Stone, a little bit of like Pink Floyd, and a lot of Lou Reed. Varies, but I mean, generally speaking, it's glam. And to be honest, I didn't really get into Aretha until later, but I was really into Etta James as a kid.
Right.
And yeah, I mean, in terms of like the bands that I would pair me with now are probably the Struts and Greta Van Fleet, a little bit of Lauren Ruth Ward maybe, and Rival Sons, I think, would be awesome to tour with. I think that'd be just a fucking kick-ass pairing.
Yeah, I was wondering, bands do you really want to tour with?
Rival Sons, I really want to tour with. I would love to tour with the Struts. They just seem super fun. Plus, they just have a huge UK base, and that's something I would really like to get into. And let's see. I mean, God, there are so many people I would love to tour with. If Blondie ever did another tour, that would be fantastic. I think Elle King would be really fun to tour with. It's not like an exact genre match, but sometimes I think that kind of works on a tour. You just need, like, you want a little bit of variety while still somehow in the same family. So, yeah.
Well, I make that juxtaposition because I don't think you fit in. I mean, you encompass all genres to me. Ann Wilson is because your voice is so huge and powerful, is the go-to comparison. However, I hear Patti LaBelle and Aretha Franklin and those soul influences as well, which you don't normally hear with a hard rock band.
Yeah, I mean, the Ann Wilson thing I've gotten so many times, and I honestly think it's just because there's a very limited amount of women who like really rock out without reverting to a shout. So it's just my voice. Like, to me, what I'm doing is essentially just a hard rock Joni Mitchell. But people are like, oh, that's Ann Wilson because it's still singing. So I didn't, again, like heart. It's so funny. I get the heart comparison all the time, and I'm totally flattered because I mean, Ann Wilson and Nancy Wilson, they're super talented and fantastic and badass. But it wasn't. I didn't really get into them until after I started playing live shows, and then I started getting the comparison all the time, and I was like, okay, I guess I should delve into this. And I was mostly, I mean, Ann Wilson's voice is incredible, and I was really amazed by Nancy Wilson's guitar playing. She's such a versatile guitar player. So they're both just, virtuosas. They're incredible.
Right. Well, I could see you going to England and really hitting it big. England seems to be like a few steps ahead of America musically, and always has been, in my opinion.
Yeah, I mean, that's where most of the music that's really influenced me has come from, except for, Lou Reed and Joni. But Amy Winehouse, Queen, Bowie, T-Rex. Yeah.
But I see your image and I see your music. You must have a big, a pretty sizable UK fan base.
Yeah, it's growing too. I think it took until the last couple of years to start getting the word out. And then I've started getting more and more people coming in from the UK, from Australia, actually, and from Canada. A bunch of people from Canada, which is cool.
That's actually my exact fan base.
Yeah.
They like that sort of edgier stuff out there.
Yeah, they're so sweet. They're so fucking nice.
I agree. It would be great for you to tour that. Like, I think you'd do amazing touring in the UK. I think you'd be very
I
hot
would love
there.
to do the UK. That'd be fantastic. I think another person that could be a great tour companion is I know Gossip got back together for a little while. If they did another tour, I would fucking love to tour with them. I think that'd be a really cool pair.
Wow. Ditto and Pope, that'd be a little too much. I don't know if everybody can handle that. But since you were on the show, and actually last time you premiered, it's been this long. You premiered your new single, inspired by your boyfriend, and I'm so jealous. But what am I going to do? He Sees Me, which was terrific. It's a great song, but unfortunately, the video turned out to be controversial when it's not really controversial at all.
What's controversial about the video?
Well, I mean, it's not really controversial. It was just it got targeted. So the video stars myself and a person of color, and we're, romantically entangled. I'm painted white. He's painted black. I'm sorry, they're painted black. They recently changed their pronoun preference, so I want to respect that. But
I messed up on one of those myself recently, so it's okay.
Yeah, no, I honestly just forgot, but I saw recently on Instagram that they had specified.
Yeah.
So I wanna respect that. They're such a wonderful person. And yeah, so it was us. I'm painted white, they're painted black. They're a person of color, so they're black. So I was like, obviously I'm not gonna paint a white person black. And we just kind of cover each other in paint. And it's like this very passionate kind of look into how messy and contrary to appearances and sort of beautiful, what a beautiful mess love is. And it got a really overwhelmingly positive response. And then like a racist, some sort of crazy racist online group got on it, and they were really upset about like the interracial aspect. And they kept saying all this stuff about me being Jewish. And I was like, yeah, who fucking cares? And then they just went off with it, just went nuts. And I was getting like death threats and stuff. It was weird. And it was especially bizarre because it was the day that it happened. It started happening at 1 a.m. And it was right after I'd gone over to 7-Eleven late at night to go get some cigarettes. And so as I went over to 7-Eleven, this was like a couple months before the election. I went in there, and there was a dude who came in without a mask on, and he got kind of close to me, like he was fighting with somebody behind the counter, and then he got kind of in my face, and I was like, "Oh, hey, could you not breathe directly into my eyeballs with your unmasked nose holes?" And he was like, "Fuck you, bitch," and poured his drink on my head and yelled, "Go Trump!" And I was so confused. I was just like, what is happening? So I just left there. And then the person behind the counter was really racist about the guy who poured the thing on my head. So I was just like, can everyone be cool? Like, what the fuck is going on? So then I left and I came home. And then when I came home, I had like 150 emails of just like crazy, insane hate speech towards me. And my co-star. So it was a really bizarre night. It really creeps me out. But I just was really open about it and told my entire fan community what was happening. And everyone just bolstered me and was incredibly supportive. And it really brought a lot more love to the video, actually, and the song, because I think it made it, especially given just the environment that we've been in, which has been, there's been so much hate going around. And then here's a song that's genuinely just about love, and people just want to throw hate. And so, yeah, it was actually turned into this very wonderful thing. But it was horrible. It was awful. I felt genuinely sick.
I understand. It's just, and there's no excuse for anything like that. And it shows how stupid it is because it's like, well, wait a second. If they don't like blacks and they don't like Jews, what do they care if a black and a Jew gets together? I don't get it. I don't understand it. And I don't understand why the hate at all for anybody.
Like the things people obsess about, I just don't fucking understand it either. Like it takes as much obsession to hate something as to love something, but why would you want to spend all the time hating something? You feel sick and gross. I don't understand.
It takes more effort to do it, and it's
yeah. You know what? It just gave me a lot of appreciation for. I mean, you know, I've always had a lot of appreciation for Black Lives Matter and what people of color and trans people and everything go through, but it gave me a much more visceral empathy for it, because I was like, here's, you know, what minority status that I have is essentially hidden because of my name, which I didn't choose. And because, you know, I'm like a little blonde girl. So people don't know offhand, but I got so much hate just for existing. And I was like, fuck, I can't even imagine what people go through who wear it every day,
sure,
you know?
Sure.
So it was definitely a learning experience. And honestly, it made me a lot more, it made me a lot Jewier. So
oh, good.
and I've been wearing my Star David all the time. I've been going to shul. I'm like, fuck you guys. You made me way more into it.
That's hilarious. It's great. So I'm glad that the love definitely overpowered the hate, even though it sounds like you had a bad night.
It was a really weird night. And I think it was just a funny little microcosm of just the state of the world at the time that just happened to kind of convert down on me in one evening.
Yeah, I remember the state of the world, but and we're gonna keep it heavy, but I promise we're gonna lighten it up at the end, because I saw your new song, I heard your new song, I saw the video, which is another. You got to see these videos, Nicole. It's such a shame that MTV doesn't play videos anymore, because you would already be a huge star, because you put so much production value into your videos. You would be like, you would be like the Madonna of your time, the Gaga of your time. I mean, she was like the last one that really kind of hit the video age.
Yeah, I mean, my mom actually was a music video producer when I was a little kid. She quit when I was really young. So it's interesting to think about that, like if the world had taken a different turn, if things had ended up differently. But I don't know. I mean, my stuff is definitely getting out there. It's just doing it in its own time, you know?
I mean, unless you're 14 and pregnant, you can't get on MTV these days.
Is MTV even around anymore?
Yeah, it's around.
All reality shows. So
it's all reality shows.
I hate
Teen Mom
TV,
2, Jersey Shore's coming back, all that stuff.
Yeah, I can't stand
call it
reality
music
TV.
television if there's no music on it.
But honestly, if there was music on there, I don't know if MTV would play, because you have eyes on your breasts in this video.
Yeah.
I don't know if that would pass the censors.
Yeah, it would. Come on.
I don't know.
It's not like they're nipples. Like, I mean, they're not literally bare tits. They're nipples on.
Oh, trust me, I watched it a few times. I saw. Suit. Yeah, I know. I saw it quite a bit. So it's very provocative. But there's a. And did you play all the roles, or was the one girl with the long hair? Was that you too, or is that somebody else?
No, that's actually my niece, and she's the little girl from Creature. And
she's growing up.
Yeah, she's growing up. I wanted to bring her back. She's got such great screen presence, and so I brought her back for this. And she was sort of playing like a young me in a way.
Right. And
yeah.
Nicole, did you watch the video? What did you think?
I think it was very artistic. I didn't see a problem with the other video. Like there's My Chemical Romance has a video where they paint a person white and black too. And actually that person, the video that was painted black was actually a white person. So technically there's less offensive about yours than I Don't Love You, which I think I Don't Love You is a beautiful video, just like yours was. It's just about love, you know, even though that one was about love falling apart. I saw similarities there.
Oh, you actually put on YouTube what the song is about. which, so, you know, we're friends, but I don't know. I didn't know this side of you. I do. You said on the show you were a bit of a hellion as a teenager, but I didn't know this happened to you.
Mm.
Which is that you were kidnapped and taken to a camp for troubled kids.
Wow, I didn't know that.
Yeah, that we're talking about. You're Such a Human Being. That video now.
Am I?
Yes.
Where am
Sorry.
I? Well, that's the new one, right? That's the
Yeah.
one with the eyes on the nipples, right?
Yeah, I mean, to go back, Nicole, to answer your question, I didn't really get. I got maybe 2 or 3 people who were offended by He Sees Me, and I mean, I'm always totally open to. I had a couple people comment on social media and stuff, and I just answered them. They were like, "Is this blackface?" And I said, "No, the person's black." And then a couple people were like, kind of confused, and I explained it, but. You know, the cinematographer.
Well, what I was trying to say is, I don't see how this video is either. I don't think that's controversial either. Like, I think that it's artistic. That's what I was going to say. That was how I was going to end that. I got carried off on a tangent.
We got confused. Your videos are so great when you get confused. They all blur in our minds. People are getting painted. There's knives on nipples. We can't keep.
Well, my point was, Mark, she's more art than controversy is how I feel. And that shows in her videos.
Completely art, and there's no controversy in my mind.
Yeah, no, I'm not. I mean, the shock rock, like, I'm happy to do. I'm just sort of always surprised by the shit that people are shocked by, like, but I'm never going out there to offend people. Like with He Sees Me, I took it really seriously with my co-star, with my cinematographer. Like, there were a lot of people of color behind and in front of the screen and all consulted. And so, you know, and then for something like You're Such a Human Being, to me, that's not provocative at all. It's just fun.
Gotcha.
Yeah. So let's go back. I want to be very clear on your songs and videos from here on in, because I don't want to confuse myself most of all. So He Sees Me.
Mm-hmm.
Now, what did your boyfriend say when he heard the song that you had written for him?
He cried a little bit.
Right.
Tiny bit.
Aww.
Yeah. Which is funny because my boyfriend is a giant Norwegian biker looking dude.
Right.
So to see him, he shed a little tear. It was very sweet.
Did it fall, or did he catch it before it fell?
I think he caught it, and then he was like, "All right, yeah, yeah, I like it."
And did he want to be your co-star in the video? I would.
Nah, he didn't want to do that. He's really interested in that kind of stuff, which is great. You know, he was in the video for Rock and Roll No More, actually, when we had just started dating. But that was just sort of a fluke. Like, he was like, "Okay, I'll do a tiny role," but to do it to really be dedicated to a role like that, he was like, "That's too much work, and it's not really what I want to do."
Do you guys get a chance to make art together ever?
He's not an artist. He's like a tech nerd. You know, like, he makes everything. He's very pragmatic and rationally minded. So we're kind of opposites.
It works out.
Yeah.
So was he one of your pallbearers in the Rock and Roll No More video?
He was the guy who, like, gets down to his knees.
Okay. I didn't watch. That's the one I didn't rewatch today, but I've seen it quite a few times.
Yeah. He has. He's in like one shot, and then he's one of the pallbearers. He carries the coffin up the stairs.
That's gotta be weird.
It was
so
odd
morbid.
To be in it. Yeah. It was, honestly, I wasn't really concerned with that. I was just concerned with the fact that it was pelting rain down on my face.
I remember, yeah.
Yeah.
At least he's a solid guy. Then going to drop the casket. He's got it. Anyway. So, getting back to, so I want to get this, and then the fun's going to begin. And there's a big, delightful surprise for everybody. But You're Such a Human Being. You and the Catch Me Outside girl, How About That, are really on the same page at the same time with this.
No way. Is that chick talking about this stuff?
Yeah, well, yeah, because they sent her to a ranch. So, and apparently there was abuse going on there as well.
I mean, all of these places are so abusive. It's just an incredibly abusive, corrupt industry. It's and totally unmonitored. So, yeah, that's not surprising.
That's the thing.
I mean, yeah, Dr. Phil's a fucking asshole.
We can all agree with that.
Yeah. I just know that like he'd sent a lot of people to systems like that. I don't particularly know anything about her. I know right as I finished the song, the Paris Hilton documentary came out, and which I never thought I would have anything to really relate to Paris Hilton on, but I did. And, you know, it's a great lesson. Like, you don't fucking know what people have been through.
Right.
And I mean, my experience was, you know, I went to different places and everything, but yeah, I mean, it's just generally, and it's very tied in. So it's like a 5-tiered industry. And there's like wilderness programs, there's residential programs, there are conversion therapy programs, and then there are like these major weight loss programs which kids get sent to, and they kind of starve kids. It's really fucking sad.
Right.
But they all kind of tie in together, and you know, they're all woven together in their own ways. And the people who recommend them get kickbacks a lot of the time from the programs that they're recommending to parents who are just like, hey, my kid has a few problems, which honestly, which kids don't have problems? And yeah, so it's a really sad system. And then once you're in it, it's just incredibly cultish, and you have no recourse whatsoever, and you have no way to like contact anyone to get out.
That's the thing. A, it's unregulated. B, there's no way you can contact anybody.
You're allowed to talk to, at mine, we were allowed to talk to our parents on the phone once I was at the school. Like, first I got sent to one of the wilderness programs, which was incredibly physically abusive, and one girl got frostbite on her face. And, you know, it was, I spent the first 2 nights, I wasn't allowed to talk to anyone. And I spent the first 2 nights listening to this girl just scream and cry. And I was like, are they raping her? Are they torturing her? I don't know. I think she was just having a breakdown because she'd been kidnapped and she was terrified. And also I think they would do this thing if someone tried to run away, they would like wrap them in a tarp super tight and sleep on either side of the tarp. So it's like total claustrophobia nightmare. I think they might've been doing that. So yeah. So anyway, so I went from there to the school. And then once I was at the school, we could only talk to our parents maybe once every couple of weeks, and someone would be on the phone, like regulating what we were saying. Right. So, yeah.
Which, that's worse than prison. When you go to get thrown in jail, at least you can call somebody. I'm not even making a joke. I mean, you can.
Yeah.
When I was a child, I was in foster care, and we had these things called RTCs, and they were very similar to that. The first one I went to was in the woods, actually, at Foxton, Colorado. So yeah, I know
this is
a little bit of
Yeah, they're all in Utah, Montana.
A lot of these systems, again, take kids from the foster system, and they get paid. Like, these private companies have just kind of found this loophole, which that's thank you for sharing that. Yeah, it's they get paid shit tons of money from Medicare to take these kids into, like, you know, troubled programs, even though their only trouble is that they've been fucking put in the foster system.
Yeah, and it makes you a little crazy if you're a child when that happens to you. I was a temper tantrum thrower, so they sent me to the one in Foxton because they wanted to like calm me down, I guess. And like, it was the same thing. You live outdoors. You had to go to the bathroom in breaks because the bathrooms were outdoors. It was literally living in the woods for 3 months of my life. So I was told the other one down the road, the boys one, was worse. It was called Last Resort.
Yeah, I mean, it was just, yeah.
This is why the for-profit medical system that we have, including psychology, as in this, it's a complete failure.
Yeah.
Healthcare, psychiatric care should not be for profit. And taking kids and shipping off to another state so somebody can get rich is just just really scarring a generation upon generation of children.
Well, and it's terrible to send them off to the fucking woods. Like, it's crazy to like literally make them feel like they have to play Survivor in order to get better. Like, what is that?
Well, I understand how that appeals to the parents, though. If they're misbehaving in a city environment, I understand the pitch, but in practice, it's a nightmare.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, in practice, they literally sign over custody to a company, and then the company can do whatever they want to you. And it's unfortunately, it's all based on pseudoscience. It's all based on like this. It all originated with Synanon, which was this weird group that broke off of AA and then went against what all like 12-step programs say, which is that like it can't be for profit. And you can't have a leader. And so it turned into this crazy cult that used a bunch of pseudoscientific therapy methods, which are all based on like humiliation and isolation and confrontation. And then they just turned it into a massive business. So it's interesting the way that it developed. And I mean, I think these people I think some of them were a little sadistic or predatory. And it doesn't surprise me. Like, I didn't have the experience of sexual abuse, but there were a lot of situations where I questioned whether it was happening. And it doesn't surprise me that it was. And so I think a lot of the people there genuinely thought they were helping. They were just super misinformed, and there are no rules. Like, you don't have to have a degree to be there. So it's just,
that's true.
Yeah, it's not well done at all. And I just don't think forcing people, as somebody who's dealt with addiction and all of these things, like, you cannot force people, you can't traumatize people into wanting to be better. It doesn't work.
Right. And, and not to mention, speaking of Bad Barbie, Dr. Phil does not have a psychiatry license, but we won't go into that. I am glad that you and Nicole survived that ordeal, and I hope if any parents are listening to this, and this is why I'm not a parent, because I would not know what to do, but there's other methods besides that to straighten out your kids. So that should never be having your child kidnapped and sent to a remote state without contact with you is never the answer.
No, it's a crazy concept, and I get that you're saying maybe they tell parents they'll be better out here in the woods, away from all the temptations and troubles. But I didn't get any better for it. I learned to play ball. I was 13 when it happened. So I was right at that age. I started learning, okay, if I just pretend to do what they want, they'll leave me alone.
Yeah.
I see Savannah can relate to that.
Yeah. I mean, and it really, like, particularly like in the wilderness, they kind of just broke us down physically. And then you were just like, okay, I'll do whatever I have to do to get out of here. And then in the school, they really broke us down psychologically, because it was 2 years. So they really broke us down psychologically. And, by the end of it, I totally bought into it. They genuinely brainwashed me. It took a long time to deprogram myself. And I think parents, I'm not on here or on social media or anywhere trying to talk shit on my parents. Like, I did have a tough time as a kid. And I think these programs target people who don't know what to do. And they sell it really, really well. And they misinform people. So, yeah.
So we're going to get off of negative reinforcement on children and get onto positive reinforcement on children. So I've got a big surprise for Savannah. I have Savannah's #1 fan from Las Vegas is coming on right now.
Oh my
John
God.
Ryan.
Surprise.
Hi.
Hi, good to meet you guys.
Hi, good to see you.
Yeah, you too. Thanks for last year for the birthday gift.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. How you doing? What's up?
Look at that background.
Oh, I knew it was gonna come out wrong, but what can you do? But yeah, so we just just been in Vegas we just went to Kingman today and then drove back and then How about you?
I'm bitching, man. I'm on the show. I'm talking to you. I'm excited.
Yeah, me too. Yeah.
Now, John, when did you first hear Savannah Pope, and what did you like about her?
It was probably 2019. I think that's what it was. And then the overall the set, like especially Creature, that was the one. That one had really good audio and video editing setup. So that was definitely really good quality.
And
Sweet.
and John liked it so much that he saw all of your videos when you were singing Queen and all these other bands, and apparently really wore it out to the point I was visiting Las Vegas, and I almost put on one of your videos, and John's father and uncle are like, no, we've seen it so many times.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I love that.
Thanks. And nice glasses, by the way.
Thank you very much. Well, I hope I get out to Vegas soon and get to meet you.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I'm always here. So if you have you had anybody comment on your Savannah Pope gear that you got for your birthday last year? Your merch? Yeah. Oh, yeah. Somebody from school. Yeah. Somebody was like, "Oh, nice shirt." Oh, nice energy drink, by the way.
Yeah, that's
But yeah, people were. Oh, nice. People were definitely a big fan of it. So of the shirt. So yeah, definitely. So
cool.
Increase the awareness of
So what other bands do you like, John, besides Savannah?
I guess I guess overall, like Imagine Dragons is good. I guess just like it's hard to really say. Like I'm not a fan of rap, which is what I would say probably 90% of the kids at my school are a fan of. But I mean, I guess it's hard to, it's not that I'm not a music person. I don't know. It's hard to say.
You like rock, you like Imagine Dragons, you like the Killers, you like
yeah. And then you got me the Cure Boy shirt when I was younger.
Yes.
Yeah.
I think you're in for a treat, John, because we're gonna have Savannah sing a song. And I want to make sure that you're on to hear that before everybody else hears that.
Yeah, for sure. That's great. So I'll get a glimpse a week before everyone else does. Nice. Yeah.
Sweet.
I'm still putting this on TikTok.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Everyone has that except for me, but I don't really care.
I'll bet you. One thing I got to tell you about John is, he said that he didn't have Snapchat. I saw him on Snapchat, and he's like, "Well, I don't have Snapchat." I'm like, yeah, you do. He's like, no, I don't. Like, yeah, you do. And he had it.
I don't have it right now.
I don't know if it was Instagram or Snapchat, but it was one of them. And I was like, I know you got one of those. And you're like, no, I don't. And then, yeah, you do.
You're probably
on Tinder for all we know. But
that Social Dilemma show got me rid of all those social media accounts. So there's that Netflix documentary. That stuff can get creepy, but
I figured it was because of, just your age that you probably had a secret Instagram account where you like post pictures of you.
I don't know. It's just like the privacy stuff is just kind of creepy. I feel like, I don't know, but
Yeah.
But yeah. Well, yeah, I'm excited to hear your chords.
Thanks, man. Well,
I can't think of a better intro than that.
Definitely, yeah. Say that again, Dark Far.
I said, John, why don't you introduce Savannah and say something like, "Ladies and gentlemen, Savannah Pope," or something like that.
Ladies and gentlemen, introducing the one and only Savannah Pope.
Hey! All right. All right, so this is my new song, "You're Such a Human Being."
Nice.
I'm not really here, alive, but I disappear. For I have learned to drink time like mercurial wine from the atmosphere. The pain that kept me awake proved too much a beast to placate. Anew, for sanity's sake, I swim through a golden and blue outer space. Once in I lay eyes on you, so mangled and used by the sea. Well, it's just like you told me. People harm me, and you're such a human being. By those wicked hands, should've known you'd be the man who'd leave me to die. But Lazarus and I can withstand. No, I change it all with my mind. Creature, my own design. Not woman or beast, my cells cannot cease to expel all that you understand. And someday I'll pass you half dead on the street, treated like you treated me. Don't say I never told you about humanity. Oh, you're such a human being. All right.
Great job. That was great. Good job for sure.
Amazing as always.
Yeah, as always.
Beautiful. Purely
Yeah.
beautiful.
Thank you, guys. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
funny to play a song over Zoom, but
Yeah. And it works.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's-
Uh-huh.
I can't wait to have you in studio again, but or
Yeah.
see you live again, really.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
is John your youngest fan, or do you have younger fans than John? Because you're 12, right, John?
I'm turning 14 in June. It's close.
Sweet.
13. I
Oh,
missed.
man.
Yeah, I missed it.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's okay.
Well, you know, I don't really know. I feel like I don't really hear that much on social media from fans that are younger than that.
Okay. Nice.
Generally the way that I know that I have a fan is because they'll write me a DM or something like that, or you know, share my video or do a remix of something. And yeah, usually the youngest kids that I get are like 14 through 16.
Okay, so similar age. Okay.
Yeah.
Nice.
You're the new
But yeah, I
generation
think
coming.
at 12 you were probably one of my youngest fans, so that's awesome.
Wow. Very cool. Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe I
But
broke
the-
the Guinness World Record.
Tell Johnny about the contest you just had with the Savannah Pope Secret Society.
Oh.
Yeah, and if you're on Facebook, you should join. You can totally be a part of it. I have a private fan group called Savannah Pope Secret Society, which
Very cool. Okay.
if anybody wants to join, you can email me at hello@savannahpopemusic.com, and I'll send you all the info. But it's just like a private group for super fans. I send people a couple questions to, you know, make sure that
Nice.
they fit in there. And then, yeah, everybody was able to enter a contest over the last week,
Okay.
and the winner got to get an original song written for them by me. So
Wow.
yeah.
That's pretty cool. Yeah. Who won?
Now, who gets the
This-
copyright of that song? Do you get that, or do they get that?
Oh yeah.
Oh God, I haven't even thought about that. But the first guy who's ever won a contest like that is Brandon. Usually when I write songs for other people, it's, I sell it for, people hire me to do something like that. But I wanted to do something like that for a fan. So,
Yeah, very cool. Yeah.
So I entered and lost. I had this whole song in mind. Mark, oh Mark, you're the greatest. I've always loved you, but it just, I didn't win. But also, you're on Cameo, Savannah, I saw.
Yeah.
How's that going?
It's fine. I don't really pay that much attention to it. I'll get random things on there. Like I've gotten a couple requests from Israel lately, which I think is really cool.
Yeah. Wow.
I don't know when my stuff started getting to Israel, but yeah, I got a couple Cameo requests from Israel and I was like, sweet.
Yeah.
But yeah, I pay, honestly, like most of the direct fan outreach that I get is through DMs or like a big part is that private group that I run.
Okay.
So,
Wow.
Yeah.
And did Dark Mark get 10 entries for
I entered 10 times.
Yeah.
Win,
yeah. You didn't win.
I went under your Facebook, your fake Facebook name, John Rybread. I went under my so many names, but John, do you have? We're about to wrap up the show. Do you have any questions for Savannah or Nicole?
Oh yeah. What editing software do you use for Creature? Was that Final Cut Pro or was that?
I use Premiere for all my videos.
Nice. Okay. Very cool. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, that's pretty much all my questions, I think.
Okay, so now you know how to.
No, I know.
How to make videos.
Yeah, and I animate in After Effects.
Nice. Okay, so the Creative Cloud. Okay.
Yeah,
nice.
It's all in the CC, man.
Yeah, I guess you can't get the licenses from Fry's anymore, but.
Yeah.
But, yeah. I guess that's it for me, but.
These crazy kids talking about their editing software.
Say that again, sorry.
Are you looking into editing some videos for yourself?
I think, I just kind of want to just play around with it. I feel like it's good for the future. But downstairs, I'm using like my computer my dad and I built, but downstairs I have a Mac, like an iMac, and that has Adobe Premiere on it. So
awesome. Yeah, it's a great thing to learn and a great skill to have.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
John's being shy. I've seen a few things that he's edited. He's edited a couple things for me. He's being very shy about his abilities already.
Oh, that's awesome, man.
Thanks.
Yeah, as an artist, it's been an incredible thing to be able to edit my own stuff and animate my own stuff. It's
you're in control.
Empowering.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah.
Are you able to figure out how she edited Creature by herself? Because I there's so many things going on in there. I can't even conceive of how you did it.
For Creature, that's almost all animation. And I didn't do it. I did a lot of it by myself. And then at the end, I brought it into, I was working at a post house and I brought it in, it's called Narrator. And I brought it into the graphics team there. And I was like, hey, can you guys check out all my stuff and, make sure it looks, can you help me polish everything?
Nice.
Because that was my first time animating anything. So I was really, afraid that it would look amateurish. So they helped me out a lot.
Wow.
Nice. But a lot of it was just spending the better part of a year just doing shit frame by frame.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And the new video, how long did that take you? Because that seemed pretty labor intensive too.
The new video, it took a lot less time because I know how to do it now. And so it took a couple months.
Okay. Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that's also just because, I've been in the, other stuff going on. I'm not purely doing that one thing. So
yeah.
So when's the new full length album going to come out? Best laid plans.
I use sometime later this year. I'm more focused on singles right now. I've got a bunch of singles coming out soon. So, and then when I feel that enough singles have been dropped, then I will. Then I'll put it out there.
Nicole, what did I tell you? A+ guess, right?
Yeah. Amazing.
Yep.
So, well, I wasn't talking about John. I was talking about Savannah, but John's been pretty good.
John is A+.
John's an A+ guess.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Nicole, thank you so much for sharing about your foster experience and being sent to RT and being sent to like the being sent to the wilderness program. It's really
No
cool to
problem.
hear.
I find the best thing I can do is share my experiences so that other people don't go through them.
Yeah. It's also, even as somebody, I was really scared to put this out there because I don't know, it's a little vulnerable, I guess. And
but you shouldn't worry about that. It's not like you did anything. I mean, maybe we were a little bit of problem children, but it's nothing compared to what they did. They're the ones that are in the wrong.
Well, that's the thing is, you get traumatized enough in being told that everything's your fault, and then finally putting it out there is not as holding other people accountable or just being honest about what you've been through. It was a little scary, but hearing from other survivors has been kind of the best part of this, is just hearing from so many people being like, I went through something similar.
Yeah.
Well, luckily, it seems like we're having a moment where everybody's saying enough is enough, and hopefully that will, people will see these programs for what they are, which are for-profit scams.
Yeah.
Very hurtful.
For profit child abuse.
Right. But anyway, I was trying to end the show on a happy note, but you know how that goes.
Yeah.
John, can you end the show on a happy note?
Okay. I guess. I don't know. COVID cases are down. I don't know.
All right. Are you back in school? Are you back in a real school, John?
Sort of, 2 days a week. So I guess that is a positive note. Yeah.
Man, I wish I could go to school 2 days a week.
Yeah.
That would have been great. Anyway.
Yeah. But
Savannah,
it was a pleasure. Yeah.
I'll bet. Savannah, tell us how everything you got going on, all the singles, all the videos, all the hashtags, all the social media.
Yeah. So right now I just released a new song, You're Such a Human Being, which I played a little acoustic version of it on here, but it is a full-blown crazy rock song on the interwild web world. And you can see that on YouTube. You can hear it on Spotify, all over the place. And on social media, my tag is always I am Savannah Pope. Savannah like the city in Georgia, Pope like the dude in the Vatican with the crazy hat. And my website is savannahpopemusic.com.
Nice.
And I promise I'll be getting a mask with the glasses on very shortly. Get Savannah Pope merch. And John, you are John Rybread on Facebook. And what's your Instagram?
I just kind of deleted all those accounts. I don't know. Like the Facebook I still have.
Oh, okay.
But follow me on there, I guess, if you want to. But
all right. Well, don't follow him on social media, but I'm glad he's on the show. Yeah. He's my friend. I'm going to see him next week, next month. I'm going to be out there, so it'll be pretty much in time for your 14th birthday. And I've already got something kind of special planned. I blew my Savannah Pope wad last year, but I got something else planned this year.
Nice.
So
thanks.
I will see you. And I'll take you to Area 15 or whatever that is that everybody's raving about.
Yeah, definitely. And the Resorts World, too, that's opening up.
All right, well, he's already got the plans.
Yeah.
So thanks, John. I'm glad you came on the show.
It was great meeting everyone. Yeah.
John, make sure to drop me an email and I'll get you in the group.
Great, thanks. It was good meeting everyone. And I guess I broke the record for youngest person on Dark Mark show. But yeah. You're
the youngest person. We had an 85-year-old earlier this year. So everybody from 14 to 85.
Yeah, I guess it's been on.
And Nicole, tell everybody how to get a hold of you.
Well, I have some good news. First off, I'm writing a new story. It's a vampire story. And that will be out either later this year, I'm hoping, or early next year. Then with my social media clients, one of them was actually on Perfect Pooch. My clients, the great Steve's, he's a dog. And we just signed Lily Hayden. So it's our little family of people I do social media for is really growing. So if you need any help with your social media, I will get you real followers, not fake followers, like actual demographics who are interested in your talents. So hit me up on @Nicole6Books. Just slide into my DMs.
Slide right in.
And to further confuse the message on social media, either delete it all or have a bunch of it. I'm Goth Comedian on all social media, including now TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, Snapchat. I've got Goth Comedian on everything. So
MySpace.
What's that?
MySpace.
I am on MySpace. I am still on MySpace too.
Nice.
So if you have a
Live
MySpace,
journal.
myspace.com/Goth Comedian. I got it all covered. So everybody.
Wait, MySpace still exists?
Yes, it does.
Oh, wow.
If you type in MySpace and whatever your username was, you can log in. Your top 8 are still there. I actually got some pictures off of there before they deleted the pictures a couple years ago, but I got some pictures off of there before they did. But I'm still there. I still have a couple friend requests, I think.
Wow.
But that's when social media was fun. John, you have no idea. Let us old folks tell you how much fun social media was when it was just MySpace. That was it. It was so much fun. But anyway, I digress. Everybody, have a wonderfully creepy week. Bye.
Bye. Thank you for having me.
Great
Thanks,
being on.
Savannah.
Bye.
So much fun. Thank you. Thank you, Savannah.
Thank you for having me.
I will send you an isolated MP4 of the song probably Monday, and the show will air next week, Friday, and then it'll be on the podcast catcher Sunday, and then YouTube next week.
Okay, cool. Would you mind
Okay.
cutting out the part where I had to go get my dog?
Oh yeah, no, I'm gonna edit that out. Don't worry about it.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay,
All right.
take it easy.
Lovely
Have a
to
good
meet
night.
you, Nicole.